Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Uno Amalgam series, the series where I don't know when to quit. If there's one thing Mattel likes to do, it's locate a brand that people like and make an Uno version based on it. Sometimes they even use a brand that people don't like. Regardless, this is one of the main ways Mattel creates new versions and new mechanics, and because of that, there have already been a few episodes in this series covering animation. And yet, here we are with even more. Before I add even more animation Uno versions to the Amalgam though, I gotta do some clarifying. It's clarification time! A lot of you asked in the comments of the last video if the various color-exclusive mechanics would be duplicated onto other colors for balance reasons, or something adjacent to that. That would kinda defeat the purpose of them being color-exclusive in the first place. Sure, the four main Uno colors will have more color-exclusive mechanics and have more card faces in general, but when we're talking about potentially thousands of card faces, it really won't make that much of an impact. It's not like this will change the balance anyways, because the cards you draw are random and everyone has the same odds of getting any given card. It'll be fine, don't worry. There have been a lot of general questions recently involving the next phase of the project. Things about art and keywords and writing and condensing rules and balance and whatnot. Don't worry, once I get to that phase of the project, I'll be making videos that contain all of that juicy game development info. Sorry if I seem vague in the comment replies about the subject, I just don't want to repeat myself too much, and also I want to surprise you with all of the fun stuff once we get there. We interrupt this clarification time to bring you elimination time. Let's make some progress. Today's non-unique elimination Uno versions are Uno Hello Kitty 2007, Uno Hello Kitty Special Edition 2008, Uno Hello Kitty Special Edition 2010, Uno Disney Adventures, Uno Explosion, Uno Petis Coraya, Uno World Series Champions St. Louis Cardinals 2006, Oreo Play Pack Uno Edition, Uno Aegean Junior Pilots, Uno Kaufland, Uno Finney, Uno Pocket Starbucks, Uno American Kennel Club Terrier Group, Uno American Kennel Club Herding Group, Uno 20th Anniversary Commemorative Edition, Uno Puppies, Uno Pocket ASS Germany. No, I am not kidding. Uno Despicable Me Minion Made, Uno Hot Wheels Promotional Set 2017. Hooray for more eliminations, they're always appreciated. One more thing I just wanted to let you know. There is now a list at the very bottom of the rules doc of Uno versions I don't have the rules for and need to be found. It's a combination of lost media and versions that haven't been released yet. If you have any info on the mechanics of these versions, please leave a comment or send me an email. There are currently 43 versions in this list as I'm writing this, and if these versions aren't found, then that's just another 43 eliminations at the end of this series. I'd prefer they were found, obviously, but that might not be possible, so feel free to consider that progress until those versions are found. Clarification time over. Let's move into the additions of this episode. Starting us off, we have Edition 221, Uno Paw Patrol 2015. This one includes the Wild Silver Badge card. When this card is played against you, you must draw cards until you get a 2, 3, 6, reverse, or draw 2 card. Someone asked me what my least favorite Uno version was, and my answer is any version that includes a mechanic like this. It's so unoriginal at this point, but that doesn't mean they won't be added. Wild Card Slap. Edition 222, Uno Mickey Mouse and Friends 2017. Do you remember CAMs, otherwise known as card art mechanics? Well, this version has one, and it's unlike any I've seen before. It's actually unbalanced with itself. Let me explain. When you play the wild Pick-a-Pal card, choose one of the following numbers or number groups. Each player in the current turn order must then play a card that matches a number or one of the numbers in the number group you chose, on top of the Pick-a-Pal card, without triggering effects. Here are the numbers and number groups you can choose from: 0, 1, 8, 2, 7, 9, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is a really weirdly designed mechanic. I can't imagine any of the 3-number groups actually being used in a competitive sense. It really only helps your opponent as well, so overall, this is an interesting choice and an interesting inclusion. Wild Card Slap. Edition 223, Uno South Park 2004. I'll believe anything can be an Uno version at this point, honestly. This is the Dead Kenny card. When you play this card, choose another player. That player must draw cards until they get a 4-number card or a wild card. Okay. I know that sounds lame, but here's where it gets interesting. If the player draws a wild card to end the effect, they get to choose another player to pass the effect onto instead. This chain continues until someone gets a 4-number card. This one is kinda crazy, huh? Originally, this one only chained with other Dead Kenny cards, but since there's only going to be one and I didn't want to get rid of the effect, here we are. Pretty powerful. Wild Card Slap. Edition 224, Uno Disney 2002. Would you look at that, it's a bug, otherwise known as Big Useless Garbage. It's been a while. I was starting to believe we had run out for a second there. This version comes with the Tinkerbell bug, and it interacts with the special cards of this version. Thankfully, this entire thing can be replaced by a single D10. Too easy, Mattel. Let's get into the unique cards. First, we have the Draw 2 of this version. It's very different from what's already in the Amalgam. When you play this card, roll the D10 to select a color. If the color you rolled matches the color of the Draw 2 card you played, the Draw 2 card becomes a targeted Draw 2 card. This will be placed on each color once. Next is the Wild Discard All One Color card. When you play this card, roll the D10 to select a color. You then get to discard all cards in your hand that match the color you rolled on top of this card without triggering effects in any order. Wild Card Slap. The last card of this version is the Wild Villain Draw 4 card. When you play this card, roll the D10 to select a color. In the current turn order, all players must play a card matching the color rolled on top of this card without triggering effects. If a player doesn't have a card in their hand of the color rolled, they must draw 4. Wild Card Slap. Thank you, Tinkerbell, for reminding me what squashing bugs feels like. Edition 225, Uno Disney 2016. Let's stay on the Disney train while we're here, because honestly, there is just so many Disney Uno versions. This one has the Wild Sorcerer's Apprentice card. When you play this card, the next player must draw 1, and the player after that must draw 2, and the player after that must draw 3, and so on until everyone but you has drawn cards. I would not want to be sitting to the right of the person who played this. Unless the turn order was reversed. Wild Card Slap. Edition 226. Uno Disney 100. This is one of the recent releases. It's meant to celebrate Disney's 100th anniversary. The wild card of this version is called the Wild Mickey Movie Madness card. The first thing you may notice is the 100. That's a new number if I've ever seen one. First triple-digit number as well. This is currently the most valuable number if you aren't including the letters. This card also has a unique effect. When you play this card, choose a player. That player must name 4 characters from a movie of your choice, or draw 4. Obviously this was meant for Disney movies, but in order to off-brand this effect, you can choose any movie you want. Have fun flexing your obscure knowledge. Wild Card Slap. Edition 227. Uno Disney Pixar Coco. This may be one of the cheapest mechanics there is, honestly, and it's pretty funny. This is the Wild Remember Me card. When you play this card, the next player must name the 2 cards that are directly underneath it in the discard pile. If they fail, draw 3. See what I mean? Not many people are going to succeed at this little minigame. It's almost as if this mechanic was designed around only having one discard pile. Wild Card Slap. Edition 228. Uno Toy Story 2008. This one has the Wild The Claw card. When you play this card, the next player must draw cards until they get a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 number card. Dang it, dude! So much potential with that card name wasted by this silly draw and till mechanic. I'm not upset, you're upset. Edition 229, Uno Toy Story 3, 2009. This is the Wild Lotso card. When you play this card, choose a color. All players must show a card that matches the color you chose. If someone doesn't have a card in that color, they draw 3. Here's the catch. If all other players have a card of that color, then you, and only you, must draw 3. This can even undo your victory if you use this as your last card. Dang, I like that little twist on an otherwise bland mechanic. Wild Card Slap. Edition 230, Uno Trolls Band Together. Let's finally get away from the Disney versions. This version has the Wild Power of Togetherness card. This is hilarious, listen to this. When you play this card, all players in the turn order must draw cards until they have the same amount of cards as the player with the most cards. What's that? Someone has 24 cards in their hand? Suddenly everyone has 24 cards in their hand. This card is not messing around. Or should I say, it's not trolling. Wild Card Slap. Edition 231, Uno Doc McStuffins. This one has the Wild Stethoscope card. When you play this card, all other players must show a draw 4 or 1 number card from their hand. If they can't, they draw 2. Ya basic, Doc. Wild Card Slap. Edition 232, Uno Care Bears. This is the Wild Care-a-Lot card. When you play this card, all players discard 1 card on top of this one without triggering effects in the current turn order. This would include you, it seems. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there have definitely been effects similar to this, and only now is an all discard 1 type effect getting its own wild card. Neat. Wild Card Slap. Edition 233, Uno Ren and Stimpy. Would you look at that, it's another Cam. This is the Wild Idiot card. Like, okay, I get it, it's a reference to one of the lines from the cartoon, but what does that have to do with this effect? When you play this card, choose another player. That player must play the game with their entire hand fully visible to all players until a 1, 2, draw 2, reverse, or wild draw 4 card is played. Yeah, I don't understand the connection. The fact we have a Ren and Stimpy Uno version at all is interesting. Wild Card Slap. Edition 234, Uno Flip Transformers. Aw, heck yeah, I love Transformers. And just like several other versions of Uno Flip, this one comes with multiple wildcard mechanics. Both of these cards are yet another interpretation of the war battle mechanic from way back. The first is the wild Might of Optimus Prime card. When you play this card, choose a player. Both you and that player must reveal your highest number card at the same time. Whoever has the highest number gets to discard 2 cards. Notably, this cannot remove the last card from your hand. If there's a tie, you, the person who played the card, wins. Wild Card Slap. The second is the Wild Tyranny of Megatron card. When you play this card, choose a player. Both you and that player must reveal your highest number card at the same time. Whoever has the lower number must draw 2 cards. If there's a tie, you, the person who played the card, wins. Wild Card Slap. Edition 235, Uno The Simpsons Springfield. This version has the Wild Great Scott card. When you play this card, choose another player and give them 2 cards from your hand. Basic, but now I'm pretty sure there are no more Uno Simpsons versions left, which is quite the milestone. Wild Card Slap. Edition 236, Uno Pixar 2021. This is the Wild Pixar Pop Quiz card. Yet another movie character knowledge test, but different. When you draw this card, immediately choose another player and a movie. You must then draw a card for each character that player correctly names from that movie. The maximum amount of cards you can draw from this effect is 5. Dang, another trap card that activates on draw. Remember the Creeper card? I didn't think this card type would be a reoccurring thing. Wild Card Slap. Edition 237, Uno Monster High 2017. Yes, I know that Monster High is a doll line, but it also had a cartoon or two, so I'm counting it. This version had the Wild Beast Friends card. When you play this card, choose a color and discard up to 3 cards from your hand that match that color on top of the Beast Friends card without triggering effects in any order. Then, choose another player and they get to discard 1 card of that same color from their hand on top of the same stack. Make a note, if a mechanic has the word friend in it, it is more likely to benefit a player that isn't you. Wild Card Slap. Hey look, it's edition 238, Uno Monster High 2013. That's right, there's another one. This is the Wild Skull card. When you play this card, it functions as a normal wild card. If another player plays a wild draw 4 against you, and you play this card on top of it, the draw 4 effect is nullified, and you get to take an additional turn. Really basic, and it would have been eliminated had it not been for the extra turn thing. Wild Card Slap. Why not one more Monster High version? Edition 239, Uno Fandom Monster High. Same disclaimer as last time I talked about the fandom series. These versions haven't quite been released yet, but for the most part we know what the unique mechanics do. And if they're slightly different in the final release, let me know later and I'll alter the rules doc. This is the Wild Frankie's Hand card. When you play this card, choose another player. That player must reveal their hand and you get to take 1 card from it and add it to yours. I like how this one simultaneously helps and hurts both you and the player you chose. Wild Card Slap. For the final edition of this episode, we have edition 240, Uno Master Disney Pixar Cars. Those of you who have been waiting for the original Uno Master may have realized that I haven't covered it yet, and really quickly I'm going to cover why right now. The original Uno Master is effectively base Uno, with the only difference being a timer mechanic bug, otherwise known as my worst nightmare. Every time you play a card, you must hit the button on the Master Machine to reset the timer. And now the next player only has a certain amount of seconds to play their card. I've already talked about why I'm choosing not to add timer mechanics in the Amalgam in the past, but just to summarize, without the original bug, there is no method of implementing a timer mechanic that's fair, accurate, and inexpensive. Trust me, I've probably read and responded to over 100 comments trying to solve the issue, and there really isn't a good solution. At most, timer mechanics may be added to the tabletop simulator version of Chemicards, but that isn't guaranteed. I'm choosing to take the L on this one by adding Uno Master to the list of versions that physically cannot be added. Thankfully, Uno Master Cars will provide at least a taste of the original Uno Master, because this version is the same except it has more mechanics which can actually be added. There's a new modifier in town, and it's the Lightning modifier. This modifier will be placed on 10 9-number cards, 1 of each color, and 10 5-number cards, 1 on each color. Because Lightning McQueen is number 95. Kerchoo! When you play a card with this modifier, you must yell Lightning out loud. And then you get to play a second card, assuming you can still make a valid match with one of the cards in your hand. The effects of your second card then trigger. However, as soon as you say Lightning, the next player has the opportunity to play a card from their hand before you play your second card, and if they do that successfully, your turn ends prematurely, and you don't get to play a second card. Yes, I had to change this mechanic slightly to work around the timer thing, but it's about as accurate as you can get. Sorry, Uno Master fans, I hope this was enough for you. That's a wrap on the additions for this episode. Progress check. In this episode, we eliminated 20 Uno versions and added another 20, bringing the total number of Uno versions represented in the Amalgam to 699. Well, I guess next episode we'll be surpassing the 700 mark. That'll be fun. Approximately only 16 physical cards were added this episode, bringing the total card count to about 1,031. Honestly, at this point, the less physical cards, the better. So not having that many physical cards added this episode is fine by me. The home stretch may be a bit long, but we're getting there. If you want my estimate on how many versions are left to add, I'd guess like 140 or so? Probably less. It's hard to tell, honestly. Once again, it's thank you time. Did you know that if you hit the thanks button or the little dollar bill button, you can donate to the channel? These people sure did. Thank you very much. Fallen Angel Viox, Omicromium, Golden TGB, Splashy Flame, Gluebird, Spiral of the Stars, Jamdrop 196, and Noah Nogler. Thank you for your donations, they are always appreciated. And now it is once again time to end the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment for that silly YouTube algorithm. Like the video if you in fact liked the video. Don't forget to get a decent night's sleep, and I'll return at some point.